Strong gusts out there. We'll get the details from Tucker coming up in just a couple of minutes because it looks like the winds are going to stick around throughout the day today.
All righty, yes. Precaution. All right, it is 8:30 right now, and we turn to several high-profile legal cases making headlines over the past few days.
Talking about R. Kelly, Jussie Smollett, Robert Kraft, all facing serious accusations this morning. Kelly and Smollett have been charged in the cases. Charges against Kraft could come today. So what lies ahead for these big names and big cases, and how would you defend them? Joining us now, Bernard Grimm, criminal defense attorney. Joining us once again. Always good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks. Good seeing you both.
Let's start with R. Kelly. We just got the update from Chicago from Tia Ewing, who is our reporter at our sister station out there. What's going to happen now with R. Kelly in this situation?
Yeah. You asked how would I defend the three of them. The first thing I would do would get huge checks from all three of them. But putting that aside, for us to discuss the phenomena of the frailties and foibles of the male species, and I can see her eyes drilling into the side of my head saying, you're one of them too. We could talk for hours. It is not just men being men. You're talking about, let's start with Robert Kraft, a guy on paper who's worth over $4 billion.
Wow.
A little bit more than all three of us are going to make in our lifetime,
Three
including
or four
our
or 16
IRAs.
lifetimes,
And
right.
if we sell all these expensive cameras here. What he's got in his right-hand pocket right now, I'll take and retire. But with that being said, if stupidity were a crime, you're worth that amount of money and you go to a spot and you sign into a log. If stupidity was a crime, he'd be getting the electric chair over the course of 7 months. You just can't fathom it. Not to mention, if that's, I'm not here to judge this person one way or another, but he's aiding and abetting the perpetuation of human slavery, for God's sakes. These Asian women are brought over in the hulls of cargo ships from China and Beijing. It's disgusting and it's unfathomable.
So if you're Robert Kraft's attorney at this point, then what do? Do you just continue to pull up defense and say, like, look, this was, I mean, he signed in, so what do you do at this point? Or do you just hope that it gets cast away when the next drama comes out?
It was a long-range investigation. He signed in, and they have videotape. Kraft does not want to see that. His fans, who had just won the Super Bowl, which now they can just throw out the window, are going to. He doesn't want that to be the lasting impression of him from the waist down, and I won't get any more graphic than that. But if you were in Washington, D.C., you would go to a thing called John School, where you learn about sexually transmitted diseases and why sleeping with escorts is bad. These are women that have children, are trying to make ends meet. It's not something they enjoy. If Robert Kraft thinks he's handsome because he handed over $75 to get a sexual favor, his ego's got some problems.
From his perspective, though, it's a misdemeanor. He just accepts the charge at this point and moves on.
He could plead, get diversion, and the case could get dismissed. Now, the entire world knows about it, but he could plead and it could be over.
Right.
R. Kelly is a whole different...
And let's talk about that because one of the questions I wanted to ask Tia is it's complicated because he has like legions of fans who say, I mean, I've heard all sorts of things. What about these kids? Where were their parents? And we forget that these minors are victims here, period. So how would you defend such a monumental figure as an R. Kelly?
Yeah, I've represented part of Chris Brown's entourage, sort of some similar issues going on there. A young African-American male, extremely entertaining, sort of Michael Jackson-like excitement when you see him in concert. R. Kelly, what a wonderful voice. But my secretary, who is with me for 17 years, a single mother. She loves him. She can't believe it. It's like Michael Jordan from Chicago. No one would believe he would ever do anything wrong.
Right.
Because R. Kelly's earned it. He's gone to the community. He's gone to churches. He's done benefit concerts for nothing. That does not give you a license to go in. He gives a 14-year-old on her birthday his business card. His mother goes, no. She's 14 years old. Well, she turned 15. That's not going to happen. She steals it out of her mom's purse, gives it to him, and then all of a sudden she's at his studio getting abused. The other victims, this one, if his lawyer can pull this rabbit out of a hat, my hat off to him. These are on videotape. I mean, you're talking about somebody that is, I'm not a doctor, but I spend enough time reading the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which is the Bible for a psychiatrist.
Right.
He's a sociopath.
Do you think time's up for R. Kelly now?
Yeah, for this reason, and that's an excellent question. The rubber meets the road right now because he's been emboldened by this last verdict where he was found not guilty. He's going to roll the dice on these and think he's going to win. He's on videotape with minors, forcibly penetrating his member into their, without getting too much detail, we know where we're going. This is on tape. He's charged with rape because it's forced, but even if it's not rape, it's carnal knowledge because they're under the consent. They're victims too. They don't have the capacity to give consent.
Right.
Where the hell are their parents?
Right.
So.
All right.
Okay.
We'll leave it there for now, Bernie. We'll talk to you again, and we'll try to cover the rest of the bases. I'm sure another scandal will blow up in the meantime.
Yeah,
so.
buy Tia another coat. She's freezing out
Yeah,
there.
it's
Would
cold
you?
in Chicago. We apprapprate her, as we appreciate you. Thanks for coming to see
Thank
us.
you.
Okay,
The only chill here is, I guess,